Hey guys, what is going on? So I wanted to give an update on my bulk as it has not really gone the way that I had planned in the final 6 weeks or so that I was kind of mapping out to be able to hit all these PRs and stuff like that. So I'll go over everything that happened and why I'm kind of changing gears a little bit here. So I am planning to finish the bulk around the same time that I was initially planning. It's just that I ended up getting sick and that threw things out of whack pretty substantially. So one thing I talked about in my last video is I was transitioning from doing a Turk and Ecdy stack to doing only Turk, and that was in the pursuit of strength. So my goal was to really ramp up my strength over that kind of 6-7 week period, whatever it was, and then just hit a whole bunch of PRs. Now, I did end up hitting a volume PR on bench prior to all this. I hit 315 for 14 reps. So I guess I technically did get a PR, and I might have maybe some other volume PRs here in the future, but it's pretty doubtful. But anyway, I transitioned back into Turk, and that does usually not yield the same amount of water retention that I get when I'm on Turk and Ecdy, so that could be a factor. However, I was sick and I basically didn't go to the gym, wasn't really eating. I had very poor appetite, so a lot of that was just, some of it certainly was water weight, I would imagine, but I just was in a massive calorie deficit during that week. And I peaked out prior to all of this. The highest weigh-in I'd ever had was 278, and I was kind of settling somewhere around there, like 275. I was pretty consistently in that range. I dropped down to 268 over that time period, and that wasn't surprising. Obviously, loss of water retention from being sick as well as being in that calorie deficit. I feel like those two things combined over the course of a week can certainly bring you down 10 pounds. However, I have been back in the gym and back to eating, back to taking creatine and all this stuff, right? Over the last week pretty much, and I'm only up 2 pounds. So I'm currently 270. The lowest I got was 268. And what I have noticed is that my appetite is just not as strong as it was prior to me getting sick. And, I'm not going to fight it. I certainly expected the vast majority of my weight that I lost to bounce right back as soon as I started eating again. But I just haven't really been eating as much, and I haven't really gotten any water retention back. So I think that's due to a couple things, right? One, I just am not eating that much. Two, I probably lost a significant amount of fat during that week just because I was barely eating. Three, I don't think my water retention from, the amount of carbs that I was eating back then, prior to me, losing weight, I don't think I'm eating quite as much. And so therefore I'm probably not holding on to as much water. However, I have really been upping my sodium intakes, trying to get that weight back up. I haven't noticed that to be the case. But another thing that I just kind of considered today was, again, my water retention when I'm taking Ecdy seems to be more than when I'm taking just Turk. And so when I was mixing those two, I feel like my water retention was, kind of similar to something you'd expect when you're on creatine, where you're just holding a little bit more water. And the fact that I took Ecdy out, I probably lost, a couple pounds just due to that. So all those factors combined, I think, is the reason why I'm hovering around 270 right now. But my pursuit to try and gain that weight back, I just haven't had the appetite to do that. And I'm still maintaining 270, which is good. But I don't really see myself getting back up to 275 or even, 278. I just don't see that happening over the next month. So as opposed to trying to do that, and, trying to hit all these strength numbers and stuff like that after I got sick, I just kind of felt like, let's try and add on a little bit more muscle, as opposed to what I was doing before, where I was really focusing on lifting as heavy as I could and trying to ramp up my strength. I'm like, hey, okay, let's go back to what we were doing and just really focus on the accessories. Don't push your compounds as much and just try and eke out a little bit more muscle gain over this last month. So that's really the strategy that I'm having now. I'm just kind of abandoning the idea of hitting these, all-time high strength numbers because I just don't think it's there right now. And if I were to try and continue my bulk to hit those numbers, I just don't really think that that's my goal right now. And a lot of that has been me shifting my mindset over the course of being sick and just being like, what do I really want out of this when it comes to lifting weights, bulking, all of this stuff? It's like, what am I really after here? And one of my primary goals has been a 500-pound bench. And sure, I want to hit that as soon as I can, but it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. And so as opposed to trying to spend a portion of my year peaking my strength, when in reality, like if I hit like a 435 bench or a 445 or whatever, which would probably be, something I could hit if everything were to have happened correctly and I didn't, get sick and everything like that, it'd be like, cool. But I don't really care about, those incremental numbers. Maybe it'd be cool to hit like 455 because it's another 25 on each side. But the reality is that the long game that I'm after is a 500-pound bench. Every other milestone outside of maybe a 315 overhead press, maybe a 405 incline bench, like those things would be cool. I don't think any of those are there. I don't think my overhead press is at 315 yet. I probably can't hit a 405 incline just because I haven't really been going heavy on any of those things. So as opposed to trying to chase after that when it's going to be hard to get there and it's going to take time out of my training and it's going to potentially just not be what I want to do, I figured let me just try and eke out a little bit more muscle gain, continue the bulk, get my metabolism back up to where it kind of was prior to being sick, and then start the cut. So that's really what I'm doing now. I don't really have any goal for the rest of this bulk other than just maybe put on a little bit more muscle, but most importantly, get my metabolism back to kind of where it was, because I just don't have the appetite, and I feel like if I were to go into a cut now, I wouldn't be as primed as if I would have tried to cut like a month ago. So I understand that's a lot of change. I understand that's not what I was planning to do, but that entire process of being sick not only threw things off course, but I just reflected a lot. And my plan is really to get down to a pretty lean weight. I probably am going to shoot for 10%. I'm not sure if I'll get to 10%, but hopefully I get to, at least like 12% body fat, somewhere in that range, which is a lot leaner than I got last time. I'm going to do it over a longer period of time. And considering I think I just lost a little bit of fat during that sickness, I think I kind of have a leg up on what I was expecting. And then I'm going to do a lean bulk. And so me and my coach have talked about this. I've been thinking about doing it for a while, but I'm probably going to do a lean bulk over like a 2-year period. So I'm probably going to bulk for like 2 years straight, maybe throw a mini cut or two in there. I don't really know exactly how it's going to play out, but I'm probably going to shoot for a 200, maybe 300 calorie surplus at most during that time period. And I'm just going to experiment with that. I have been a big advocate of kind of the gigabulking strategy. It's worked very well for me the last couple of years. But again, I just think I need to put on, a little bit more size, and it's going to take a couple of years to get the size necessary to even have a shot at a 500-pound bench. And that's really my main overarching strength goal. And outside of that, I lift to be muscular and look good, and I prefer to be lean. So I'm kind of at that point in my life where I'm shifting my focus to, as opposed to getting the absolute maximum gains possible by dirty bulking or gigabulking or whatever, I'm just going to dial it back and be a little bit more patient and enjoy the physique that I've built a little bit more. So this cut should be a slower one. I'm going to be less like, foot on the gas pedal trying to get the best gains possible and just really enjoying the process in the gym and just letting it take a little bit more time while enjoying the fruits of my labor and being lean for once. I haven't been lean for like almost 2 years. So I just, I'm ready for it. And I'd rather stay lean a little bit longer on the lean bulk, even if that means sacrificing gain. So that's kind of the area that I'm in right now. And, the 500-pound bench, the high strength numbers, maybe 315 overhead press, 405 incline, things like that, I'll get those eventually. I don't really have too much attachment to those other two numbers. The 500-pound bench is going to be a huge milestone if I ever hit that. But again, that's probably years away. So as opposed to trying to speed run there, I'd rather just enjoy being lean for a little bit more and gain the muscle a little bit more slowly. So that's what I'm planning to do. And I just want to give you guys that update because I did switch over to Turk just simply to gain more strength. And now that I'm kind of abandoning that, it's kind of funny. So I will probably stay on just Turk for the remainder of this bulk. And then I'll probably switch over to pure Ecti at the start of the cut because I've never done like a high dose of Ecti before. So that'll be interesting to see, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I will keep you updated, and I'll talk to you soon.